Hey guys, so the HermitCraft Reddit, which is a very large Reddit, the moderated Carol D. Zombie, a journalist. I don't know if she really is a journalist. Hopefully, she has that tag. She created a Megathread. I'm just gonna read it to you, and then we're gonna have a discussion. There is a additional witness that I had not known about previously, and they've made a statement. I'm going to read you that in another video. But essentially, the thread is Iskall85 and Stressmonter Resignation Megathread. So that the mod team may continue to present the latest information and monitor the discussion, we have made this post to act as a new Megathread in place of the previous one, which can be found here. On 23rd November, the Hermits shared that Iskall85 and Stressmonter had resigned. For all the people asking what happened, here's what we know so far. To summarize what was shared in the statement, the Hermits received several complaints in private regarding Iskall85. Those complaints were investigated and deemed credible by the Hermits, and when asked for a response, Iskall chose to resign. Stress also resigned, although whether that's related or not is unknown at this stage. False has confirmed that Stress left on her own accord and was not implicated in the complaints that have been made. She had since privated most of her social media handles and disabled YouTube comments. That would be Stressmonter. Since this information was revealed, multiple victims have published statements detailing what happened. They don't make for light reading, so we recommend being in a good place mentally before reading them. They also contain references to topics generally inappropriate in this subreddit, so be conscious of that, especially if you are under the age of 18. Megathread, Vault Hunters, and Iskall community member. Kazi, one of Iskall's moderators. An anonymous victim has come forward, verified by Kazi. So that's number 3. We actually haven't gone over that yet. That was on Twitter or X. A statement has been released by Kazi on behalf of another victim, and it's a pastebin. So we went over the Megathread statement. We've gone over the Kazi statement. And now there are 2 more victims that have come forward, and you can be sure we're going to dedicate the rest of today's videos on these 2 victims and my thoughts on it. The episode of AM PST podcast where Iskall was interviewed has been unlisted from YouTube and removed from RSS feed that goes to Spotify, iTunes, etc. Minors were not involved in the complaint. This was revealed in reply to people falsely concluding that from the original statement. Mumble has removed any merchandise from his store that references collaborations with Iskall. Grain Brian has altered the titles of certain Season 6 episodes. Ellie Beatmaker has unlisted 6 of his remakes. They may be released as instrumentals in the future. Multiple members of Vault Hunters SMP, one of who was also a developer for the mod pack, have left the series, including H-Bomb, Chosen Architect, Bry, False Cemetery, and I don't know who these people are. Among the remaining members, the general consensus is that the SMP is on indefinite hold, with some saying they will not return to play the pack until Iskall resigns. Internally, the mod team has removed Iskall and Stress from the list of current Hermits in the subreddit index in HermitCraft wiki pages, subreddit sidebar, and disabled their flares. So this is pretty serious. The comments are worth reading on this Reddit page. And they basically there are 4 people who have come out. So this is exactly reminiscent of the Deshaun Watson scenario, where Deshaun Watson, when one victim came out, then another, then 24, 26 victims later, he had to settle with all of them. Now, whether or not so the big question here is, do you believe these are actual victims? There are comments in the comment section, probably even now, which disagree with whether or not they're victims. They felt that this guy, Iskall, was just a baller and he was just, wanting to date multiple women. There's no crime against wanting to date multiple women at the same time, right? There's some religions that specifically allow you to do this. There's no crime against, reaching out and making promises and breaking promises. What my fear is a lot of people are misunderstanding that because he's a public figure, this information, if it does get leaked out by these victims, again, I will call them victims because I think they're owed that amount of respect to classify how they want to be identified as, they will be public as well. So when you are a public figure on a public platform such as YouTube, he's got 1.6 million subscribers over here, then when somebody publishes something about you, then yeah, of course, that's going to affect and impact your livelihood and your life, and rightfully so. If you've never made a YouTube video, it's really hard to understand the dynamics between you and your subscriber base. I've met some of my subscribers, and they know a lot about me, because often they may watch me for many years. I know nothing about them. To me, they're a complete stranger that I'm meeting them for the first time, and it's a little creepy, to be quite honest, when somebody tells you they watch YouTube videos of you for the first time. But now as you get to know them and stuff, it's a lot better. But there is a dynamic. And this dynamic we've seen with Dr. Disrespect. There's other individuals in Minecraft, a whole list of them I can name for you, who have exploited this dynamic. So just to make sure that people understand it can exist and how it can exist, right, is why I've decided to cover this. I think it should be... I'm looking at Star Soul. This is the first time I've seen that one. The other victim, it's the first time I'm reading that as well. The general premise is they thought Iskall85 was a nice guy. They thought he was making promises. I'm going to come visit. The promise, like generally speaking, is I'm going to come visit you. And then now they're exchanging pictures, and they feel that they have been missed. God, because maybe like if you don't make these promises, these lavish promises, oh, I love you, I'm going to visit you, maybe you don't send those nude pictures over, right? Because you're like, nah, I can't trust this guy. And at the end of the day, I think that's what it is, that there is pressure from the parasocial relationship where, you don't know what that is until you are in that scenario. And that's what I'm gathering. That's what I'm learning from this. It is a very real dynamic that exists in the workplace between employers, bosses, employees. It is a real dynamic that exists between even coworkers at the same level, right? Where people feel that they deserve something and the other person feels like they should give them something. These are grown adults. From all four of them are grown adults, and they feel like they were very uncomfortable, right? They were put in situations by this man here, Iskall85, that they felt uncomfortable in, and having talked to other individuals, they were not the only one. So there's 4 people so far. More people coming forward and more information, and we'll continue to cover this dude. It's wild. The internet is wild, and if you really kind of think about the long-term impact of putting yourself out there, this is one of them. If you ever get big enough, or even smaller YouTube channels, I think there was a comment today about someone having a YouTube channel with like 4,000 subscribers, and their parasocial relationship exists even there, where it's I know everything about you, you know nothing about me, but why don't you know anything about me? I don't know everything about you. And that is a dynamic that can be exploited from selling mostly crypto coins, it seems. I mean, that's essentially what influencers do with or targeting individuals with romantic aspirations. So again, he's not going to jail. He's not going to be sued. But is he the guy you thought he was before this? Probably not, right? He portrays himself as very wholesome, as a ordinary dude, right? And I think when you read more of these, and we're going to go over the other two today, you're going to realize that this is a pattern of behavior, which luckily here there was none of these four people were minors, but could he exploit this power gap with a minor? Absolutely. This type of behavior leads me to believe that he's good at doing this type of activity. I know some comments will be like, oh, he just doesn't know how to talk to women. No, I think you got it wrong. He's well practiced, right? So if you don't know how to talk to women, you're probably not talking to 4 or more of them at the same time. It's very difficult to keep the stories, and again, it's not easy talking online to, and again, I'm going to speak from personal experience. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how, honestly, he had time to do it. I heard that he's no longer making, like he didn't make a HermitCraft video for 4 months or something like that. But this happened during the time. I would say that a lot of effort and time was spent by himself creating what turned out to be lies, and they were very emotionally. And we get back to the idea of what is a victim, who can claim to be a victim. And my opinion on this is, if a victim says that they're a victim, I'm going to choose to believe them, because at the end of the day, that's how they feel, right? They feel about it. I don't know how they feel, but when they tell me how they feel, I have to accept that as true. That's my personal opinion about it. Anyway, let me know if you guys still hang out with this guy. Yeah, a lot of fans of his trying to send me to jail as we speak for not being a lawyer. So stupid.